The great Derek Brunson joining me now ahead of your PFL debut against Ray Cooper the third. I suppose you've probably done a few interviews already today, and the first question in every one, I would imagine, is can you talk me through the timeline of how you go from fighting on what was supposed to be the John Jones card, which is now a different thing, to not even in the UFC anymore and fighting with the PFL?
Yeah, maybe did I jinx the card? You think I would have?
I think
Is that
so.
what occurred? When Blind Brunson leave, the whole show goes down. But no, I don't know. We just felt like we needed some new challenges. Feel like we needed a reason to get up for fights. Needed some new excitement, and signing with PFL was the right thing for us. And it's a new start, fresh start. Um, a lot of motivation here, and I know what I'm working for.
Down at middleweight as well. I know there was talks of maybe moving up, but you decided to stick around at 185.
Yeah, for sure. So our first fight is at 185, and then the plan is to move up to 205 after this fight.
So what's the thinking behind that? I suppose they don't really have a 185 division in PFL, right? And I guess you look at the 205 division was interesting this year because it was looking really good at the start, and then maybe looked a bit too good was the problem. And about 10 of the guys had to get pulled out. But do you look at the field of 205ers in the PFL and see yourself as like the winning that championship next year?
Oh yeah, for sure. I always look at whenever I enter for something, I always look at how do I get to the finish line? How do I win? So that's always the goal. It's a matter about how do we stop the stops along the way and make sure that we're doing what we need to do to get to the end. But yeah, you never know. PFL doesn't have an 85, but they just purchased Bellator from what I'm hearing. I'm not sure how finalized it is. So you never know because Bellator has 85, so it's inevitable that they actually have an 85 division. So yeah, you never know what happened. We just focus on this first fight, going out handling this one, and then we're gonna move forward after that.
Were you like already preparing in a camp, beginning the weight cut, all of that stuff before you decided to do this switch up? Because the fights are what 2 weeks apart from when you were going to fight to now, pretty much the same timeline going into it. You just get a couple of extra weeks.
Yeah, well, at that point, I didn't officially start my training camp. I'm always training. Like you got some
It would
fighters
have been
that don't
super
train.
early, right, to start a camp at that stage.
Right, yeah, yeah. You got some fighters who only train when they have a fight.
Mm.
They'll get in the gym about 6 weeks before. They might just hang out, whatever. But I always train. But the intensity level steps up whenever I'm training for a fight. So yeah, we were kind of in our early stages and really, didn't start our full training camp when the switch came about.
Right. And then it worked out pretty well time wise. Like you knew in your mind, okay, I'm going to be fighting. I mean, even the location's not that dissimilar, right? It's like a couple of hours down the
Oh
road. It's
yeah,
like, I know I'm going to be fighting on the East Coast around the kind of middle of November time. And that's pretty much how it worked out.
yeah. I never thought about that, but yeah, most of the shows are West Coast. So yeah, it's just everything. Yeah, both on the East Coast around the same time. Yeah, it just kind of worked out. It wasn't planned or anything. It just kind of everything just kind of aligned and worked out. We figured, if we were a free agent, if we left the UFC, we would definitely be able to find a home.
Was leaving the UFC a negative thing? Were there negative feelings there? Or I know recently there's been a couple of guys, your old pal Darren Till, one of them, who they kind of just say, like, look, if you want to go and try out other options while particularly at 85, there's a lot going on. It's probably going to be tough to maneuver that division with when Izzy comes back, he's going to get his shot and Dricus and all the rest of it. Were they kind of like pretty open to you saying, you know what, I'm going to go and try some other challenges?
Well, it wasn't exactly those because I had a fight schedule. It was just more
Mm.
of like, okay, well, if that's how, if he feel that's best for him, then we will allow him to, get released, and that's how it was.
What do you think of your boy Till? I mean, a little bit different. He was in a slightly different situation. I guess say coming off the same opponent, but what do you think of him leaving and deciding to go a different route entirely, going to another sport?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was better for him. He might, he already has a big name, so I'm pretty sure he can make a lot of money with that. It's less on the body. A lot of these sports require less on the body. MMA is full body. You got the sprawl, you got the kickbox, you got to be conditioned, you got to do jiu-jitsu. Like it's just so many different aspects. Whereas if you're doing boxing, you're just standing up punching, you know. So like be in shapes, make sure your legs are ready, make sure your arms are ready, and be able to slip, roll, and punch, you know. So it's a lot of intricate details with MMA. So I think yeah, it'll work out good for him because it's not so taxing on the body.
You know, like PFL are obviously pretty open to guys trying out different things as well. I know the big one, Francis, a couple of weeks ago. Have they said to you like, look, if someone wanted you to box for a whole load of money and you know it was outside of season time, have they said like that would be something you could do, and is it something you'd be interested in?
No, we haven't had those type of talks, but who knows? Potentially. I mean, like I say, you never know. It's endless possibilities, and they operate pretty well and pretty fairly. And like I said, the fresh start and being with a new organization, just going in and impress and look good, and then see what happens after that.
I don't mean to be like overly like glazing or anything, but I think when people heard that you were out of the UFC, surely your phone, Ali's phone, is just blowing up the second that news comes out. Because I would imagine every promotion on the planet is trying to get your first fight out of the promotion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had offers. We was talking to a few people. And like I said, we felt PFL made the most sense. It wouldn't be exactly easy for every single free agent at this juncture in their life. Especially I'm an older guy, but when I parted ways with the UFC, I was ranked in the top 10. So definitely has some value in there. The only fights that were problematic, or the last two, were guys who are champion, or excuse me, not champion, but fighting for the title, and then other guys number 2 or 3. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you look at Dricus was fighting for the title after your fight, and then of course Jared in and around and been up there, and like I think I'd imagine the activity of PFL is something that you're excited about because of course it's been a stop start a couple of years for you.
yeah, for sure. When you're gonna fight. Like you said, the activity is always good. So yeah, I'm all about it and ready to get my feet wet over there.
I'd have to think there are people telling you though, like this season format is rough. Like like if you win the tournament, you'll have fought between now and the end of next year's tournament 5 times within a 365 period, which means 5 weight cuts, 5 times getting that. Like I think like I'm sure other fighters have told you like this is a grueling schedule.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. But like I said, I'm up for it. I like these new challenges, new ventures. Totally up for it. And then yeah, going to 205 as the plan is. The weight cut wouldn't be really big. So
is there any like weight cut at all for 205? Because you seem like 185 is like a pretty like it's not you're not absolutely killing yourself to get down there, are you?
85 pretty tough to make. 85 pretty tough for me to make. I always eat pretty clean, and I walk around probably like 210, 212. Whereas I know 85ers that used to walk around like 230. So like, but that's just like ridiculous. Those guys is eating whatever. But yeah, it's not the easiest weight cut, but I've been making it easier. Picking up more cardio, more road work, and keeping that weight down and watching the diet.
What about the 205 final this year? Who do you think Impa or Josh Silveira is going to win that one?
That's a good matchup. I'm gonna have to go with Impa. I train with the guy. He's a really tough guy. He's embracing the moment, put up some good fights, and he's in it to win it.
What's the deal with this Jake Paul thing? You seem like you've got something of a problem with him. How did this all start?
No, it's not. So it's not a problem. The guy likes to fight. He's a good promoter, and I like to fight. I'm a good promoter, and it's a perfect fight for both of us. So yeah, if the opportunity arises, for sure we get it done.
They ever call you and say, have they ever called you and said like, hey, Derek, you're with PFL, which he's with PFL as well. Maybe we get some sort of a mixed rules bout going or something.
Not yet, not yet. So yeah, the thing is, we get through this first one, handle our business in the first one, then yeah, we'll see what happens after that.
I would think that you're probably more focused on like legitimate MMA competition as opposed to like a crossover thing just about yet, right? Because I mean, I would think your eyes are set on this first fight and then the season after that. At which point, then maybe when you've won the $1 million and everything, you could look at the sort of the celebrity fights a bit more.
you never know. You never know. You never know. One fight at a time. We see what happens. I'm all about big fights and entertainment, and having fun out there and new goals, new ventures.
Do you like these YouTubers and Jake and all coming into the sport and like and doing their thing in this, or do you think it's bad for boxing and for MMA?
No, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's cool. I like it. So yeah, keep it going. Just bring more eyes to the sport.
They're very disrespectful of the MMA fighters, though, aren't they? Like they talk about like the guys Jake has beat are serious guys. Woodley, Diaz, even Ben Askren. He can't box, but like he has a chin, right? He was undefeated for like however long. Legend of the sport. Like, and they talk about him like he's some bum off the street.
Yeah. It's funny, but yeah, it is what it is. I think those guys just like talking trash. So you got to go out there and take them out. That's what it is. So like if we ever match up, you
Do
got
you
to put
follow
it
that
to them.
stuff?
What's that?
Do you follow that like all that like YouTubers, or do you just kind of like the Jake Paul stuff when it's on, but you don't like keep up with the Misfits and everything and the KSIs and all of that?
A little bit, a little bit. I watch a little bit. Like I watched KSI and Fury fight. Um, that was on the Jake and
It
Diaz
was
was on the
Logan
fight
and
card,
Dylan
no?
card.
Logan and Diaz. That's right. That's right. So yeah, no, yeah, I watch it. I don't keep up with it like that, but when it's on, I watch it.
A lot of people saw Phil Hawes at that event and thought it was you because the blonde hair.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah, but what did you think of that whole showcase? You think? I mean, Dylan didn't exactly do MMA any favors, did he?
nah, yeah, Dylan, yeah. Yeah, it's whatever, man. It was funny to watch. It's funny. I actually missed most of that match, and I caught like the last one, Fury and KSI.
Right, right. Do you think
So yeah,
Fury
I came
won,
in a
or
little late.
like a lot of people said KSI got robbed? What do you think?
I gotta watch it again. When I initially watched it, I don't know because I was like half watching. It's not one of those things where like MMA fight you gotta stay glued because somebody can get
Yeah,
knocked out any second. It's like this is a marathon. This is 4 rounds, 5 rounds, however long it's gonna go to distance. Some guy gonna look good at points. So like it was like half watching. So like uh yeah, I can't say because I half watched it.
right. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I think people would ask me all the time, like, who do you think won? And I said, anyone who didn't watch it won, really. And so finally, Derek, in terms of the PFL season coming forward, obviously Ray Cooper the third. Tell us what the fans can expect on the PFL finals pay-per-view November 24th in Washington.
You're gonna see a new Blonde Brunson out there. Ray Cooper likes to come out there and bring it. Um, I got a way that I wanna and gonna approach that fight. I think we're gonna look good in that fight, really, really good.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, mate.